Okay, so this is going to be an introduction to Module 1, Lesson 6 for College Prep Math 2. We're going to talk about multiplying and dividing integers today. And the nice thing about this is the rules are a little simpler than they are for addition and subtraction. There are two rules again, but they're very straightforward. The first one is this is for multiplying and dividing both if your signs are the same. Then you just multiply and the answer is positive every single time. So if we have a problem like 3 times 5, we all know that that is just going to give us 15, right? And it works with this rule because our signs are the same, they're both positive, and then our product is positive. Negative 3 times negative 5 is going to work the same way, though. We're just going to multiply those numbers. 3 times 5 is 15, and then our answer is positive because our signs are the same. Okay? Very similar for division, right? And remember, in this class, a lot of times we're going to write division with the fraction bar. So if we have something like 15 divided by 3 written like that, okay, well, that's going to be 5, and the answer is positive because our signs are the same. Similarly, if we have something like negative 15 divided by negative 5, well, 15 divided by 5 is 3, and our answer is going to be positive because our signs are the same. So what we're really looking for this rule is if our signs are the same when we're multiplying or dividing, we know our answer is going to be positive every single time. Okay, second rule, if our signs are different, then we're going to work it out, multiply or divide, and our answer will be negative every time. Okay. So again, this is going to work for multiplication and division. So we have something like 3 times negative 5. We've got different signs, right? And so we're going to multiply those. So 3 times 5 is 15, and then our answer is going to be negative since our signs are different. If we have negative 3 times positive 5, we're still going to multiply those numbers, and our answer is still going to be negative. It doesn't matter which one's bigger like it did for addition, right? We're just going to multiply our numbers, and then when our signs are different, we're multiplying or dividing, our answer is going to be negative every single time. So it's important to remember to think about which operation you're working with because the rules are different for addition and subtraction than they are for multiplication or division. And then similarly, if we have negative 15 divided by 3, 15 divided by 3 is 5, and then my signs are different, so my answer is negative. Okay, 15 divided by negative 5 doesn't matter if it's on top or bottom. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Signs are different, so our answer is negative. Okay, so rules are simple here. If your signs are the same and you're multiplying or dividing, your product is positive, and if your signs are different when you're multiplying or dividing, then your answer is negative instead. Okay? So let's just do a few practice problems here. So we have something like negative 10 times negative 6. Okay, we're going to multiply those numbers together. So 10 times 6 is 60, and then we just want to ask ourselves, signs the same or different? The signs are the same this time. If the signs are the same, the answer is positive every single time. So 60 is what we're looking for. We could certainly see questions like this where we kind of put it in a variable form. We ask you to find a times b if a equals negative 9 and b equals negative 5. Okay, so again, we're going to plug these, let's make this a positive 5. We'll plug these things in. So negative 9 is going to go in for a there. B is going to be positive 5. Okay, we'll multiply these. So 9 times 5 is 45. And then we just want to ask ourselves, signs the same or different? In this case, the signs are different, so our answer is negative every single time. Okay, and I know it's tempting. I mentioned this in the last lesson too. It's tempting to just put all these things in a calculator and you'll get the right answer, right? But the calculator is not going to work so well when we start to get into the algebra and there's more variables in our work. And so, starting to learn these patterns and, recognize when you're supposed to get a positive answer when we're multiplying or dividing, when you're supposed to get a negative answer when you're multiplying or dividing, there's certainly value in that to making the work we do later in the course easier. So I would encourage you to try to figure out the sign, and then checking your work with the calculator is totally fine. But we do want to try to learn the patterns so we can use them going forward. Okay, we will also have some order of operation problems in this lesson where we kind of take all of our sign number skills we've been developing over the course of this module and put them together. But before we get to that, let's look at a couple with exponents in them, because this can be tricky for some people. Like, let's look at something like this, -4 squared. Okay, and we'll have to go back to like what we learned in lesson 1. This doesn't mean -4 times 2. This means -4 times itself a total of 2 times. So in this case, -4 times -4 is what we're doing. And so once we've got it written out like this, we can use our sign number rule. So 4 times 4 is 16, and then our signs are the same, so our answer is positive. Okay, now if I change this just a little bit, this is where people get thrown off. I don't put those parentheses in there anymore. It's important to recognize that this exponent is only on the 4 here. So that's the only thing that we're multiplying times itself is the 4. So we've got this negative that's hanging out in the front, and then 4 squared is like 4 times 4. Okay, so we only have one negative in there, and here now if we're multiplying -4 times +4, that's 16 for the value, and then our signs are different. When our signs are different, our product is negative. So you really want to think about where what pieces that exponent applies to, and only put it on the appropriate pieces here. In this case, it was just on the 4, so the 4 times 4 part there was there. The negative, own separate little piece that's just out front. Okay, so order of operations problems. We will certainly have some of those in this, so let's look at an example of that. This is one, quite a bit going on, so we definitely want to pay attention to the details here and really think about our order of operations, make sure we're doing this in the right order, okay? So when we're doing our order of operations, the first step is to look for parentheses, other grouping symbols. We have one operation inside of a parenthesis over here, so I'm going to start there. Like this is a parenthesis here, but there's just one number inside there, so there's nothing to evaluate inside the parenthesis. So really this is my only set of parenthesis calculations to do, and it's just 4 minus 2, so don't make this difficult. That's just going to be a 2, and then we're going to bring everything else on down. Okay, so there's my first step out of the way. Second step is look for exponents. Okay, I do have this -4 squared, and -4 squared means -4 times -4, right? So working that out, well, 4 times 4 is 16, and then my answer here has got to be positive because my signs are the same. So this is going to be 16, and then I'll bring everything else on down. Okay, so done with my exponents. So third step is multiplication division from left to right, and I do have a multiplication over here, so I'm going to do that next. 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, and then done with that step. So last step is addition and subtraction from left to right, and I do have some of those. I'm going to do them from left to right, so I'll start over here. So 8 plus 16 is 24, and then finally 24 minus 17 will give us the answer that we're looking for. So this is a good example of a problem where we have to use some of our sign number math. We didn't do a ton of sign number calculations here, but we did have to do some here, and you certainly will see some where we have to use our addition rules for sign numbers, and some where we have to use our multiplication rules for sign numbers, right? But the good thing about this problem is it had all 4 steps of the order of operations in it. So we really want to make sure we're paying attention to that. But hopefully that's enough to get you off to a decent start for this lesson. Please don't hesitate to let me know if you run into any trouble, how I can help. I'll have a good day.